This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, and insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hello everybody and welcome to show 156 of Aussie Mac Zone. Our first live recording on Facebook, we think. So, don't forget, so this was inspired by ATH, the Aussie Tech Head guys, because this is what they're doing now. So we're just trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Or the Goodmans, as the case may be.
Yes, that's right. So we are presented by athwebhosting.com.au, Australian servers, affordable and competitive plans, 99.95% uptime, domain registration, all that sort of stuff, 24/7 ticket support, and friendly help when needed, which is very true. And they're very good guys down there. So they use cPanel, and there's 250 scripts you can install with just one click. So
One click, get your WordPress up and going, or your Joomla, or your crikey knows what else.
that's right. Exactly right. And there's lots of things these days, so you've got to be right on top of it. So, firstly, story number one. As I advised over the weekend on our Facebook group and on Twitter, I think, please upgrade your iOS devices now. There were 3 major exploits discovered recently, and Apple patched them as soon as they were advised. This was apparently after a United Arab Emirates activist was hacked reportedly by his own government.
This is an amazing story, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah, I mean, the guy gets these links in his SMSs, and because of his position, because of, what he does, he thought, this looks fishy, and chose to send it to, I can't remember who, do you remember who he sent it to? But someone who, one of these research vendors that really knew their business, and they go, yep, this is very fishy, and thus bringing this thing to light.
Yeah.
And like you said, three major zero-day exploits that were uncovered, and up until now being sold by the Israelis.
Yeah, and we believe it was an Israeli company that was behind it all. Not necessarily in the bad way, but this is why Apple didn't want to put a backdoor in, basically.
Absolutely, because these bugs are going to be in there. And as soon as they can locate them and find them, they'll do something about them.
Yeah.
And it's also why I get so annoyed with people when they say, oh, Apple are just updating it to get rid of the jailbreak because I don't like jailbreaks, with the whole 934 thing, that there was that sort of backlash against 934. Oh, it's just to fix a jailbreak. Like, yeah, it's to fix a security vulnerability.
That's right. Which is why they gave which is why they gave credit to the people that were doing the jailbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely. And Apple have laid such importance in their marketing, in everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, such an importance in their marketing, in everything, in the security, and so yeah, this stuff needs to be fixed as soon as possible.
Yeah. I'm just having a challenge with your camera. It's very on one screen it's very up close, like you're very close to it again. I've got nearly all microphone and only your chin.
Okay, well, that's weird. I can push it back further.
Yeah, what about just tilt it back up a bit? Yeah.
That way?
Yeah, much better.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do.
I can't reach my keyboard anymore, but that's all good.
Yeah. My cat's eating my microphone cable. That's why there was a bit of noise there on the mic too. Just add another challenge to the outside world.
I can plug in an external keyboard so I can reach it again.
So yeah, it's and this is why we didn't want Apple to give a backdoor. Basically, it's as simple as that, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah.
There we go.
So we've got another interesting one. We just want to say welcome to a new Australian Apple podcast. It's called Apple Slice. And we just like to say good luck to the boys for the new podcast.
Apple slice. Okay.
Yeah.
Get your apple slice.
It's a totally different format to us. So, yeah.
Very good.
We also, I think we should congratulate MacBreak Weekly and Twit TV moving into their new studios and 10 years of MacBreak Weekly. It's pretty big.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yes.
And like you've got in the notes here, 500 episodes for Aussie Tech Heads as well.
Yeah, next Thursday. It was going to be last Thursday, but Glenn updated his Windows machine and it killed his microphone, killed his cameras.
Oh no! Oh well, come on. The audio's the main. Anyway, don't worry about it.
He started from scratch and now his machine's running better. So hopefully by next Thursday we'll knock over number 500 on that one as well.
Lovely.
Which is pretty special.
I mean, there's not many Australian podcasts that'll be at number 500 that are weekly.
No.
Might be a couple of daily ones, but far out.
We've got a little while to go, but we'll get there.
Yeah. There's time.
And as I said, I believe we're broadcasting live on our Facebook group page. So this is just so we can try to offer more, because I think we can actually have conversations once that's sort of underway.
Yes.
And I get used to doing it.
If you're listening to this now in the feed, give it a go next week. Jump on. If you're not in the Facebook group already, jump into the Facebook group, and hopefully next Monday night, we'll be doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And participate.
That's right. Our Apple Music Festival 10 kicks off next month. Apple has announced this year's music festival takes place in London. The Apple Music, it's now called Apple Music Festival, as opposed to the iTunes Festival, will take place at Roundhouse London between the 18th and 30th of September, and it will be streamed live to Apple Music subscribers, free. So we're a bit confused about that, but
it's a free ticket as well if you're a subscriber. That's all right.
But you've got to be a subscriber.
It doesn't cost you any addition. Let's put it that way. It doesn't cost you any extra. So we can call that free if we like.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's some pretty big acts far out. Have you seen, like, there always is, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, Robbie Williams and Britney Spears and Alicia Keys and I don't know, a whole heap of them.
Yes.
So
if
you live in the UK, I think you have to be in the UK to actually put in for tickets to attend.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us, we can listen to it live on Apple Music anyway.
Exactly right. So, just so people know, this is why we don't talk rumours and betas. We tend not to talk about rumours, basically because that's a non-stop news feed when you're talking about Apple. Like if Tim Cook breathes the wrong way, there's a big rumour. Or it just that would be a never-ending news feed if you just talked about Apple rumours. And then also we don't talk much about the betas as specifics because they might change in the full release. It's happened before where they've had things, and but yeah, now we'll drop our thoughts from time to time. But for which I can say I'm still loving iOS 10. I've got it on three devices now. It's on my primary phone as well. And it's very easy to sign up for and get. So yes, please have a think about it if you're interested.
But maybe not on your primary device. Let's not go. Let's not wholesale recommend that you put it on your primary device. Start with a secondary if you can. And
like put it on your iPad and not necessarily on your phone. And just before you do it, always just research those important apps that you might have on there.
Anything you rely on.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm definitely enjoying it.
Yeah, ditto. and watch OS 3 as well.
Thanks for nothing, pal.
Hey, I'm trying.
Yes, we have a few challenges there, but we'll keep trying. Now, what about this? The internet is here.
Is it?
Yeah. So, in the kingdom of apps and unicorns, Rossetti's is a rarity. This big garden in the heart of Silicon Valley has been standing on the same spot since 1852. It isn't disruptive, it doesn't scale, but for more than 150 years, it has done one thing, and done it well. It has given Californians a good place to get drunk. During the course of its long existence, Rossetti's has been a frontier saloon, a gold rush gambling den, and a Hells Angels hangout. These days, it's called the Alpine Inn Beer Garden, and the clientele remains as motley as ever. On the patio out the back, there are cyclists in spandex and bikers in leather. There is a wild-haired man who might be a professor or a lunatic or a CEO scribbling in a notebook. In the parking lot, there is a Harley, a Maserati, and a horse. What a great joint, you've got to say. It doesn't seem likely a spot for a major act of innovation, but 40 years ago this August, a small team of scientists set up a computer terminal at one of its picnic tables and conducted an extraordinary experiment. Over plastic cups of beer, they proved that a strange idea called the internet could work. So there's a full story in The Guardian, but just so you know that this month, it's 40 years since the internet got invented, basically.
Since the first bits travelled.
Yes. So, sounds like a great pub, but doesn't it?
I know. You'd be looking around a lot, wouldn't you?
Yeah. What's going on? What's the...
I think that's it seems to be San Francisco in general. That sort of a description, doesn't it?
Yes.
Very interesting, motley crew.
Different little town.
Yeah, that's all that.
So, another one. Further to getting all the banks on board with Apple Pay, Australian supermarket giant Coles and the Retailers Association have announced their support for local banks' fight against Apple's policy to limit the use of the NFC chip incorporated in iPhones to Apple Pay. Coles says its investment in NFC technology has been well received by customers so far, so there is a need for a cross-platform solution. Since Apple limits the use of NFC chip to Apple Pay, banks and retailers can only provide their mobile payment service to Android customers. The Australian Retailers Association has a rather interesting example in underpinning its position for a cross-platform solution. Their example is Google Maps has been successful on both iOS and Android because it can access the GPS functionality of both platforms. This is not the case when it comes to accessing the NFC chip on Apple's iOS device. So what they're saying is they can't get your information. Coles still lets me use my watch. Coles lets me use my phone, but they don't know who I am unless, So.
I think, yeah. That's not what they're saying in their assessment there, in their proposition. But, it's a reasonable, in many ways, way of sort of reframing the debate, though, and one that's easily, you could easily buy into. Do you think at some point in the future Apple will open up use of the NFC chip? I mean, let's not be, totally agree with you in terms of their motivation, right? That's they want to cut the credit cards out of it. They want to cut everyone else out of it. Obviously, there's a percent or a 1.5% or whatever it is that's going begging to somebody else other than them, so that they can offer you the convenience. They've got to support credit cards because why wouldn't you? So they're losing a percent of profit there, and that's
But I
on the
don't
margin.
do you think they lose? Like I don't know either way, but I don't think just because I use Apple is that they're losing any more money.
No, but credit cards in general. So this is not just. Finally, so you think of it this way. Finally, a payment method. People with mobile NFC chips that they could. What I'm trying to say is they could basically come up with a solution that cut credit cards out of the deal. So they're aligning with the credit card companies here. But the real thing here is to cut credit cards out. They don't want credit cards because, that's where they're losing their money. So you've got people with Android phones, let's say iPhones, they could open up the NFC chip there. It would make it so much easier if they could access that for them to set up a mobile payment system that customers would be happy to use. Tap and go. It'd be the same sort of thing, except it would be their system, not the credit card companies.
Yeah, so they want more information about me. Is that correct?
They want more money. More information about you is secondary. They want more money. They don't want the credit card companies. They don't want Apple. They don't want anyone in between them and you. So they get more money from you. Well, they get all of your money instead of 99% of it, and they get your information. So the real thing here, I believe, is to cut the credit card companies out. That's the end game. The first game is give me access to that NFC chip.
But I'm never going to
slide with credit card companies for now to promote that end game of getting rid of the credit card company out of the.
I personally would never trust Coles and Woolworths to have a direct link to my bank account.
God no. But you don't have your Coles you don't have your Coles Visa card, you have your Coles card. And you link it up to whatever, you link it up to your account. And it's so much easier because all you have to do is tap your phone, tap your watch.
But that's still Coles having direct access to my bank account.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. But let's this whole Coles and that supporting the credit card companies, that's a convenience to the real goal, which is give me access to a methodology of providing a payment solution.
But that was so let's say it was the Retailers Association card instead of the bank.
Yep.
They're still going to take a cut.
The Retailers Association?
Yeah, because they need to take the cut to run the system.
Yeah, but that's Coles paying for the system. They're paying themselves to provide the system. Like they want to get the credit card companies out of the way.
So that means I'm going to need a JB Hi-Fi card and an Apple card and a McDonald's card.
Look,
and
I'm Mr. Coles. I don't care for you to get that stuff. All I care about is getting all of your money and not having to share any of it with anyone else.
Yeah. So,
and I'm not saying it's good for you. I'm not saying you want to do it. I'm just saying that.
So they'd have to start. So they would have to introduce at a discount anyway, wouldn't they? Wouldn't you think that if you use their Coles card, you're going to get
you to do it
10% off your bill?
Hey, they've quite successfully got people using Flybys. I don't bother with them, but all of it, we're quite happy to sign up for Flybys and whatever other loyalty cards are out there. Show me somebody who hasn't got, half a dozen loyalty cards of one kind or another. They've had to write down some information and so forth. It's not a big step from there to an actual payment methodology. And that's what these smartphones give them. With the NFC chips, that gives them access to a platform that would allow for a secure payment facility. I really think that's the end goal for what they're trying to do here. And the fact that they're aligning with the credit card companies in the meantime is just a
convenience for them.
Convenience for them to get to the end goal of getting rid of them.
Still not going to be convenient. Ever can be a convenience for me. Ever.
No, God, I know.
Ever.
Hands down, of course not. It's not about you. It's about them.
Well, good luck.
That's my view anyway.
Good luck to them.
Right?
Yeah. So, our iTunes and Facebook group and Twitter winners should be receiving their prizes this week as they went out today. So hopefully that will happen. So we also should remind people about Aussie Tech Radio and the Aussie Tech Security Podcast and Aussie Tech Heads Podcast. So just don't forget, and Aussie Tech Security, he's very good. It's very good.
Has he got another one in the can? I haven't seen a new one of those for a little while.
I thought he's... Oh, maybe because I was
Maybe
listening to
one
it somewhere
came out.
else. Yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah. And I know Glenn's trying to coax a couple of other people that haven't been on for a while back to have another podcast going too. So we look forward to that. So what about how-tos? Do we want to start with yours? Start with one of yours?
I can't even remember what they were now. Assistive touch, I remember. Was one.
Yeah, yep.
So, assistive touch it's an accessibility feature. But let's say you've got an old iPhone and, the volume control doesn't work too good, or the mute button doesn't work anymore. Maybe the home button's starting to go and it's not really worth getting fixed because it costs too much. Power button, whatever. Assistive touch is your solution. So go into settings, general accessibility, scroll down to assistive touch. You can enable assistive touch, and you can go in there and set it up. What will happen, there'll be a little icon on your screen. I think it comes down sort of on the home screen. It's sort of where the dots are to show you what's home screen number you're on, sort of between the dock and the main part of the page. On the left-hand side there's a little menu, and that little button will be there on any screen. So if you don't need the facility, you wouldn't want to have it on because it's going to be on your screen at all times. But what it does, if you touch it, you bring up a menu, and there's all sorts of things you can configure in there, like volume up, volume down, mute, lock the phone. So like pressing the side button, pressing the home button. So if the home button doesn't work, you can have an on-screen home button, an on-screen button. And
it works great for people where their home buttons have stopped working because they've bashed it to death playing games.
Exactly. So you can just get this little on-screen set of buttons, and you can configure how many are there and what they do, whether it be down to a screenshot, because if your home button and your side button doesn't work, and you want to take a screenshot, you can set that up. Obviously it's not probably not the primary design for that facility, but it is a useful way of using it if you have got that old device that really isn't worth fixing, but hey, could still be useful for things.
Yes, exactly right. So what about there's a couple more Safari ones that I found during the week that we use. So to close all tabs except one when Safari's open, you option click the close button on the tab you want to leave open. So it's a bit sounds a bit back to front that I'm going to hit the close button because I'm option clicking it. That's the one that stays open. So if you've got 10 tabs open and you're not interested in them anymore, option click and just keep one of them open. That's one easy one.
So option click the one you want. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Or to go to the home page, you just command and the home key on your keyboard, and that will take you to your designated home page.
So in most of you who've got laptops, that's obviously a function key with the left arrow.
Yes, I think that's correct. Yeah.
Arrow. Or what I usually use is for the same thing is Command Shift H. It'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
No, that's the one I tend to use. I mean, your one's easier actually, but I tend to use Command Shift H.
Yeah. So, and we've also had a AMZ listener advising an issue with Apple Mail. So, the new top-level domains you can get, say, like .services. So when sent from Apple Mail on a Mac, the receiver does not get a name in the sender's list on the sender part. But when sent from, say, Postbox to an Apple Mail account, Apple Mail displays the sender correctly. Or if you're sending it from the Apple Mail iOS client, it works correctly from there. So there's just something a bit funny there going on, but it's been going on for a long time, and they're getting the gentleman that was talking about it was getting a bit frustrated at how long it's been taking to resolve. Yeah.
Look, I've been having a lot of trouble with mail just recently too, in terms of it not updating. Um, just not getting anything. You can do get all new mail,
Yeah.
you know, synchronize all accounts, try all sorts of stuff,
You
close it,
rebuild
open it,
rebuild it.
rebuild. I did that one
Yeah.
time. I
Yeah.
rebuilt about a week ago, and I'm still having the same thing where it just won't get anything new.
Okay.
Take everything offline, bring it all back online, and mostly it'll work. Or, and I've noticed that, I come home and get on my home network, it all comes in straight away. It's like it doesn't like being on other networks or something. I don't know.
Don't know. Yes.
But it's a bit frustrating too. So, any wonder if anyone who's running Sierra, if they've noticed any improvements to mail? I haven't really checked any of my Sierra install very much.
Yeah, I'm not running that as yet, unfortunately. So,
Okay.
So what about turning off Shake to Undo?
Yeah, well, we all know about Shake to Undo, or maybe we do. If you don't, it is actually quite a useful feature. So if you're in your mail app and you accidentally delete something you didn't want to delete, just give your phone a shake and it'll say, do you want to undo your deletion? Click, yep, go for it. Or same with dictation or
Won't do it for messages. It's very easy.
messages, yeah.
No, it won't. I haven't been able to get it to do it for messages. Where
I
accidentally delete one.
Delete, no, yeah, I haven't seen that either. But I was talking about, if you're doing the text,
Yeah.
you accidentally delete all the text within a message.
Yes.
It'll undo that. But yeah, I don't know if it will undo the actual deletion of messages. That's a good point. No. Anyway, for me personally, sometimes it gets annoying. I don't mean to. Like, I'll put my phone in the pocket with the screen unlocked because I'm doing something else. And the phone will be, did you want to undo all these deletions? So if you want to switch it off, you can. If the shake to undo is an annoyance more than it is a benefit to you, once again, jump into settings, general accessibility, and shake to undo, and you can just toggle it straight off.
Okay. I've only just started using Shake to Undo just a little while ago, and it's been great so far for me. So,
yeah. Now the main one for me is in Mail app.
Yeah,
that's where it annoys me. But I leave it turned on. It's just it does annoy me at times. So I mentioned that that's how you can if you find that it is more annoying than beneficial.
Yeah. And it just depends on how you use it. So that's the beauty of Apple. I've got a Aussie Mac's own listener question now. So my MacBook Pro gave me this today, and it's a little dialog box that says OS X can't repair the disk Macintosh HD. You can still open or copy files on the disk, but you can't save changes to files on the disk. Back up the disk and reformat as soon as you can. What do I do, and what is the cause? So obviously the first thing, to harp on it again, is back up. Keep backing up, because this will happen to you one day. Next one is to find your installed disk that came with your MacBook Pro, in this case, or after backing up, restart holding down the Option key and choose the recovery disk that shows up, or search Google on how to make a OS 10.11 bootable USB stick. Once it is booted, go to Utilities menu at the top and choose Disk Utility. Then select Erase, and hopefully this will come back without any errors. Now quit Disk Utility and choose Install New Mac OS. If it is from a USB stick, it takes about 20 minutes. And the cause can be a failing drive, whether it's a spinning hard disk drive or an SSD drive, or corrupt data somewhere. But lastly, after backing up, you could try using Disk Warrior or Stellar Phoenix Mac Data Recovery, just as a couple of examples to see if that will fix it. Because it'll tend to, Disk Warrior, for example, will go out and do a complete rebuild of the directory on your machine, and that can be what can be playing up as well as the directory has been corrupted. So that's just a couple of ideas on what to do.
So with that one, Michael, is there any benefit in just going into, Command R to boot into, recovery mode, or boot the recovery drive, and just using the disk utility to check for errors on the disk and do all that sort of stuff first.
Well, you
Just to
can,
keep that
but
compliant.
it's the operating system's already tried to repair it, so it's basically
Okay.
already done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So there's not usually much benefit in doing that again. Yeah.
no, that's for sort of when you're getting the spinning rainbow wheel. If you're getting that a bit often, I would say go into Command R and use disk utility, and do a disk first aid, or in the old days you would do a repair disk and then a repair disk permissions, whereas the newest one you've just got first aid, so it actually does a repair disk and a repair disk permissions at the same time.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's and that fixes those sort of the spinning wheel a lot. That fixes that a lot. Speeds your machine up too sometimes. So. But that's it.
Very good.
Another one down the drain.
Bites the dust.
Yes.
156. There's anything about 156. What's that? No, nothing.
Don't know, but I'm very happy that we've with our sharing our iOS notes that you can add things to it.
Absolutely.
So I've just got to get you to add the rest of those. How to turn them off and how to add assistive touch, and it saves me having to listen to the podcast again and then typing them in.
Yep, I'll do that for you.
But that's good now that we're sharing our notes. That's excellent. I think
stuff that I can't wait till it's supported on Mac OS as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Do it with a proper keyboard.
So everybody, thank you for listening. Don't forget our friends at Aussie Tech Heads. And as I said, I'm actually sending out some letters this week to potential sponsors, supporters. So we'll go from there, see what we can achieve. Thank you very much, Garth.
And thank you, Michael. And thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, all the best. Bye.